Hey guys, so we're starting the day 3 video of lesson 7.4. Today we are going to continue talking about structures that are made up of microtubules. You guys remember yesterday we talked about the cytoskeleton, how we had two components. Microtubules were the bigger ones, they are made up of proteins, and microfilaments are the smaller ones. All right. So the two structures that we're going to talk about today, which are both made up of those proteins, are cilia and flagella, okay? Cilia and flagella can be found on different cells, and they basically are important when it comes to the movement of cells from one place to another. So cilia are short, numerous projections that look like hair and that move in tandem motions like the oars of a boat, right? So they help something to move from place to place. And you'll see little hairs on some certain types of bacteria. You'll also find cilia inside of our own bodies, but our cilia don't cause our cells to swim or move. Instead, they actually help to move materials through our body. Flagella, on the other hand, are like tails. You are not going to have thousands of flagella. Most bacteria cells will have one or two or like four, right? So basically, these are hairs and these are tails, and you're going to have less of them, and they move in a whip-like motion, meaning that they give a quick burst and then they move forward, and they keep spinning and spinning and spinning to allow the cell to move forward. So these are cilia, and you can find them on the outsides of cells, and you can also find them inside of our own body. So let's go ahead and look at some examples of cilia. I can find cilia on paramecium. You guys can see here all of these little cilia that are found on the outside. Now watch how they allow the paramecium to swim through the water. Right? All right, so we can also find cilia inside of our own bodies. So if I look here inside of our lungs, we also have cilia lining the outside of our cells. And their main job, see how they're moving like this? This up here is mucus, and it's filled with the dust and bacteria and anything that can enter your body. So this right here is mucus. You guys know what that is. And you need to get it out of your lungs in order to carry all that dirt that you breathed in out of your lungs. So all day long, there are cilia along the lining of your lungs that help to carry mucus out of your lungs and up towards your nose, right? This is why mucus is made. It is very, very important. It helps to capture dust and any other dirt that might have gone into your body. And then the cilia help to carry it out by moving in this motion. Pretty amazing, right? All right, you can also find cilia on the outside of cells like this. All right, now the next thing we're going to talk about is flagella. Flagella can be found, you're going to have less of them, but they are going to be found here on one side of the cell or the other, and they help to move the cell from one place to another. All right, now flagella are usually found in bacteria. There is only one type of human cell that has flagella, and that is the sperm cell. You guys heard about this back when we talked about reproduction. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at flagella. All right. So you guys can see here on a bacteria cell that it allows the cell to swim from one place to another as they move, right? And then the next one that we're going to be looking at is the sperm cells. See how they whip their tail as they swim from one place to another. Remember, this is the only cell in the human body that has flagella in it. All right? So cilia are the hairs on the outside of the cell that allow it to move, and flagella are the tails. A lot of cells have one or the other, but some bacteria, like the one that you're looking at in this image, have cilia and flagella. All right, Now we're going to talk about cell walls. Cell walls, animal cells do not have cell walls. This is why we're so flexible and why we can move around. But however, our cells are kind of weaker than plant cells because we don't have that extra layer of protection. So all cells have a cell membrane, including plant cells, but plant cells also have a cell wall surrounding their outsides, right? This helps to add an extra layer of protection and support for the cell. All right, and the cell walls of plants are made up of a material called cellulose. Cellulose can also be called fiber. You know, we'll talk more about that when we get into nutrition later on. But it's made up of cellulose. It's a type of long chains of sugars that are added to each other, and they're very difficult to digest. Now, bacteria also have a cell membrane and a cell wall. So they have that extra layer of support surrounding the outside of their body. Not just that, they also have a capsule, which is another layer of support found outside of their cell wall. So they go cell membrane, cell wall, and then capsule. Like they've got a lot of support. So just so you know, the bacterial cell walls are not exactly the same as the plant cell walls. Even though they do the same thing, they add structure and support, they are not made up of cellulose, they're made up of peptidoglycans. Okay? That's the difference between the two. All right. So, now you guys can go ahead and start working on the day 3 quiz. Good luck.